Hi everyone! In the first half of this video, we're going to talk about donuts. And in the second half of the video, we'll review some of the vocabulary that I've used to help you improve your conversation skills in English. Be sure to enable subtitles at any point if you need them. I grew up in Cyprus, an island in the Mediterranean, where my favorite desserts were drenched in honey, sprinkled with pistachios, or deep fried. When I moved to Canada, I couldn't find any of the sweets I was familiar with, but I stumbled upon an alternative, a much beloved Canadian treat, the donut. Believe it or not, the donut has a unique history in Canada, and even inspired the author Steve Penfold to write a book, The Donut, A Canadian History. Here is an excerpt from a blurb for the book. In Canada, the donut is often thought of as the unofficial national food. Donuts are sold at every intersection and rest stop, celebrated in song and story as symbols of Canadian identity. And one chain in particular, Tim Hortons, has become a veritable icon with over 2,500 shops across the country. Let's take a look at 5 of Tim Hortons donuts and learn some vocabulary too. We have to start with the chocolate dip. This is your typical donut. It's a classic. It's irreplaceable. There are lots of donuts with more unusual flavors and fillings, but you have to admire the simplicity of the chocolate dip. Why is it called the chocolate dip? The donut is dipped into a chocolate fondant. A fondant is a thick paste made primarily of sugar and water. When the fondant cools, you get that smooth, shiny layer on top. You probably know that Canada is the world's largest exporter of maple products, so it should come as no surprise that the chocolate dip donut has a maple dip variation. Moving right along, we have the double chocolate. This is one decadent donut. It is truly indulgent. If you're a chocolate fiend, this is the donut for you. Not only does it have that shiny chocolate layer like the chocolate dip, but the cake underneath is chocolate. If you're still not tired of hearing me say the word chocolate, you'll love this donut. Next, I want to draw your attention to the Boston cream. Where does its name come from? Well, it's a donut inspired by the Boston cream pie, a creation dating back to the 1800s and originally served in Boston, Massachusetts. This donut is a personal favorite of mine. It reminds me of my favorite cream-filled Greek desserts. And just as the chocolate dip has a maple dip variation, the Boston cream has a Canadian maple variation. Canadians just love the taste of maple, eh? For those of you who are sickened by the thought of all this sugar, but still want to enjoy a donut, there's the old-fashioned plain. When I first walked into a Tim Hortons, the old-fashioned plain seemed like the least interesting donut. I guess I was distracted by the other donuts' colorful toppings. Now, having visited Tim Hortons numerous times over the years and gorged on the stickiest and sickliest treats that it has to offer, I've come to appreciate the mature, sobering nature of the old-fashioned plain. I take it as a matter of pride that the old-fashioned plain is now my go-to donut, as if my preference were proof of my adult tastes and my triumph over the naivete of youth. But let's put sophistication aside for a moment and have some fun with our last donut, the vanilla dip. The colored sprinkles give this donut a certain festive quality that drives kids crazy. It reminds me of a party, a room full of balloons. If this donut had a personality, it would be extroverted, talkative, and lots of fun to be around. Underneath the sprinkles, this is an ordinary and underwhelming donut, but at least it knows how to dress well. Now that I've described these 5 donuts, the chocolate dip, the double chocolate, the Boston cream, the old-fashioned plain, and the vanilla dip, let's review some of the vocabulary and key phrases I've used to help you improve your English in everyday conversation. One phrase that I used in this video was, my go-to donut. If there's a recipe that you especially like, you can call it your go-to recipe. Or if there's a snack that you frequently eat and enjoy, it's your go-to snack. Here are some more examples of the phrase. He's always available at the last minute and he gets the job done efficiently. He's my go-to mechanic. The company has a go-to expert who is consulted on important matters. This is my go-to mug. I like its size, weight, and color. Drenched in honey. The pancake is drenched in honey. The athlete is drenched in sweat. Be careful not to get drenched when you're outside in the rain without an umbrella. In her romantic song, Don't Know Why, Norah Jones sings about her heart drenched in wine. Stumble upon an alternative. If you stumble upon something, you've accidentally discovered it. Here are some examples of the phrase. I took a walk and stumbled upon an old friend. While reading the newspaper, I stumbled upon an article about a submarine. The archaeologist stumbled upon a giant dinosaur fossil. If you're a chocolate fiend. A fiend is a devil, and somebody addicted to drugs might be called a dope fiend, but the word is also playful and describes somebody with a small obsession. He's a chocolate fiend. He eats chocolate at least once a day. Her friends say that she's a golf fiend, as she plays any chance she gets. Gorged on the stickiest and sickliest treats. If you eat or drink something to excess, you're gorging on it. At the party, she gorged herself on cake. You could also say, she stuffed herself with cake. She binged on cake. Here's a list of 15 words I've used in this video, plus sample sentences for each one. The much-beloved singer received a standing ovation at the concert. It's typical for him to arrive late to meetings, as he has a habit of procrastinating. Her mentor's guidance and support were irreplaceable, as he had a wealth of experience in the industry. During the vacation, they indulged in lazy mornings, leisurely strolls on the beach, and delicious meals. She treated herself to a decadent spa day, complete with a luxurious massage, facial, and scented bubble bath. The restaurant's menu offers classic dishes like steak and potatoes, chicken parmesan, and apple pie. The pastry chef skillfully sculpted a realistic-looking flower using fondant as the medium. The company released a new collection of shoes with variations in colors, patterns, and materials. He displayed a mature attitude during the conflict, approaching it calmly and seeking a peaceful resolution. The family gathered for a festive dinner on Christmas Eve, exchanging gifts and sharing laughter. The new smartphone model had an underwhelming battery life, failing to meet the advertised specifications. I prefer my pizza with a variety of toppings, including pepperoni, mushrooms, olives, and extra cheese. The news of the accident cast a sobering shadow over the community, reminding everyone of the fragility of life. The extroverted child eagerly participated in class discussions, often raising his hand to share his thoughts. The author wrote a compelling blurb for their upcoming novel, leaving readers eager to dive into the story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.